All right. Let everybody hop on here that wants to kind of sit in on our meeting. We got 3 clients here. Julianne in Pennsylvania, Dallas and Stacy in Utah, and Brian Colmier in Utah. And it's my job here over the course of the next 8 weeks, 1 hour every single week. These are all paying clients of Vyral Marketing. They've all given our firm money to help them stay in touch with their database, to get more people to call them to sell their house, maybe buy one too. But also you can use the whole same system for recruiting agents to your team or brokerage. Brian, that's what you're using it for. So we'll touch on that as well. Same principles, different message, different list. It's my job over the next 8 weeks for you guys to make a lot of money. How does that sound? To get the most out of what you're doing here with Vyral. All right. So today's lesson, the very first lesson, whenever someone's coming to me and they're saying, Frank, I'm not getting the results that I want, or I'm not seeing the return that I want, or it's not working for me, I usually take them through kind of an audit of their marketing. And there's 8 things in that audit. And I decided to structure the 8-week class around the 8. We're going to audit one thing every week. Is that great? So these are all the questions I ask when someone needs to get better results, not seeing results, is one lesson every week on each point of the audit. And today's audit is, are you actually building the database correctly? Are you advertising, prospecting, whatever you want to do? Are you building the database correctly of the right people? So it's probably one of the most difficult things is, okay, you're going to hire Vyral Marketing to stay in touch with your list. You're going to put in this 36 touch, beautiful email, social media, direct mail touch program. But are you even nurturing the right people that could probably hire you? Are we building the database of the right people? That's what we're going to talk about today. All right. And that's the only topic today, getting the right people in the CRM, homeowners who are likely to sell their house. In your case, Brian, agents that are probably maybe in the future thinking about making a switch, either a brokerage switch or a team switch. Sound good? That's the deal. So really quick, 1 minute. Let's introduce yourselves to everybody. So know all your backstories. Julianne, let's start with you. Give me your story in 1 minute of your history in real estate and why you're here.
Oh, you want the elevator pitch, huh?
1 minute. Yep.
I'm Julianne Lesniak with the Lesniak Group at Berkshire Hathaway. Been in business for 20 plus years. Have a team, and let me tell you, this has been an interesting market that we've had. So Frank and his entire team have done a phenomenal job for me. So I cannot recommend them enough.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Dallas, Stacy, tell us her background, 1 minute about you guys, about your business, inform the audience about you, because I know about you guys, but everyone else doesn't.
Yeah, I'll start. I'm Stacy Chaffin with Real Broker, and I'm the licensed agent. And then Dallas Chaffin is actually our property manager. We're very investor-minded agents, and we've built a really great niche in our community being investor-minded agents. I got my license in 2016, mostly because we were flipping properties and we wanted to buy and sell our own properties to flip. And that sort of caught on to our sphere, what we were up to. And it just snowballed. We started doing it for friends and family, referrals, and we've just built this really great business. And we want to transition into being more high volume listing agents. And that's why we're here with Frank. We feel we have a really unique offering that is marketable, value forward, and we feel if we learn how to market it well, we could be very successful.
Good.
What else do you want to add to any of that?
No, that's about sums it up.
Yeah. So Julianne, I would say traditional realtor for 20 some years, right? Taking listings, working with buyers, the way it's always been done. Dallas and Stacy start off as investors, going out with the cash offer. I want to buy your property message, but realize they're leaving listings on the table, flip the cash offer to listings, but want to go more deeply into that as their seller acquisition strategies. That'll be a unique comfort zone that they're in. And Julianne will talk about getting you comfortable with a cash offer as a traditional listing agent and how you've dealt with that. Brian, tell us about you real quick, about your background. You're here and you've hired us more for doing the same principles and systems, but for agent recruiting. Give everyone a quick background on you really quick, then we'll get started.
Yeah, so I've been licensed in real estate since 2007. My brother and I, we own our brokerage, Colmier Realty. We're in the Salt Lake area as well. We currently have a team lead, Casey, who's on this call, and we have about 10 or 12 agents working with us. And really our goal is to grow that into producing agents that are going to contribute to, our culture and our team. We've done investments as well, and we just started some property management this last year as well.
Cool. Great. Let's get started. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Frank.
All right. Thanks for all being here, guys. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for kind of exposing yourselves business-wise publicly to everyone watching this. It's very nice of you. Let's rock. So the reading everyone's been assigned before this is one of the best business books I've ever read, is The Millionaire Real Estate Agent written by Gary Keller. And there's a model in there called the lead generation model. It applies to like every business, especially professional services firms, of just a place to start to compartmentalize your thinking so you have accurate thinking when solving a marketing problem. And essentially the idea is you divide your world into haven't mets and mets. Okay. And it starts really, you can start on either side, mets or haven't mets. We'll start today on the haven't met side. Is when you start with your haven't mets is you need to either build or buy or get a spreadsheet. And that's what it is. It is a spreadsheet. Let's be very clear. Let's be very tangible. That has a first name, last name, phone number, email address, and ideally an address. Okay, contact information of people who are likely to sell their house. In your case, Brian, it's going to be agents that actually have managed to sell some houses. Maybe not too many, right? But in that kind of sweet spot that they're actually selling homes. So we need a spreadsheet of all the homeowners in our target market that are open to thinking about selling, that are likely to sell. And Brian, you do a spreadsheet of all the agents in the area you want to recruit in that are productive, that maybe haven't had their license for too long. Got it? That probably statistically you're fishing in a pond where they're more recruitable than not. Fair enough? And you always start with that target market list. And sometimes you can buy it, which is called a compiled list. Someone already bought it for you. You can get it, which is real nice with homeowners because you can just pull that from the records, which I'll show today. Or sometimes you have to build a response list, which is usually buyers. That's like running ads, doing a search for homes. So you have a list that way, but it starts with a list of the market too. Okay. And can you guys hear me, by the way? Yeah. So Travis, I'm not sure why. Maybe your audio is not working, but everyone here can hear me all right, as far as I know. Julianne, let's start with you. What's your target market? You sent out a direct mail piece. We're going to talk to you about building your database. How do we start with a list we can reach out to get homeowners to respond in a way that they're maybe open to selling their house? You're in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. What's the target zip code that you're in?
It's where my office is. It's 17325.
So this is Remine. You could use PropStream, Property Radar. There's a whole bunch of services like this. What's the zip code?
17325. This is like deja vu.
There you go. Okay.
We've already done this. Yeah.
We have. So we're going to focus on single family homes, right? And there are 8,731 single family homes in that zip code. If we wanted to, we can drill it down a little more. Sometimes I like taking out the LLCs and the trusts. So there's an option on a lot of this information to only do owner occupant, like leave the corporations out of it, because those are hard to get sold with our strategy. So now we're down to about 8,000. And then from a price point, is there a home price you don't even want to deal with? Like
probably around 350.
So we don't want to go below 350. We're not going to do that. So let's apply that. Oh, wow. Down to 3,000.
Yeah.
Right. So would you say that's all there is? There's 3,088 listings of homes that would possibly list in your market that you want to go after. That's your list. Fair enough. Great. You're going to download that. It's going to have the first name, last name, property address, mailing address. The mailing address is different than the property address. That's an absentee owner. And then there's services out there that if we want, depending upon your strategy, you can append all the possible phone numbers. And if you want, if it's part of your strategy, append all the possible email addresses for those homeowners. So we can start our reach out system. And you already had that list, don't you?
I do.
Good. Stacy, Dallas, you guys need a list of homeowners. What's your market?
We probably like to focus on like a move up market. Someone that currently obviously has a home to sell. Maybe it needs a little bit of repair work is what we like to hit them with. Because our program is unique. We've talked to you about this. We call it the fix and list program.
Mhm.
So we go in with a cash offer, but we essentially want to flip it to listing, but typically they need a little bit of work. So it's basically a novation strategy. So we partner with the seller to do strategic updates in their home. So it sells for more money and quicker. And we either build that into a higher commission or we split
Okay.
profit.
So it's probably a homeowner that's lived in their house for a while where it's kind of dated or damaged.
Got to have equity or we're not going to invest in this property.
Okay.
So typically they've had to live there around 3 years, at least 3 to 5 years.
Oh, at least 3. I'd go as high as 15, 10 to 15.
Well, in Utah, those last few years,
Got it.
it's skyrocketed, you know, so a lot
Well,
of people.
Let's size the market up. Is there a zip code or a county you want to go after?
Yeah, we typically go after like 84095 as central to our radius.
Is that right? South Jordan?
South Jordan, yeah. South
So again,
Jordan.
we're talking about building the database. How do we get strangers into your database so Vyral Marketing can market to them? We got to start with your target market. So it looks like in this market, in this area of Jordan, South Jordan,
Yeah.
let's go to building type. We want single families, right?
Mm.
Length of ownership. They're going to want to own it for a while. You said at least 3 years. I'll go a minimum 5.
In Utah, it's skyrocketed the last 3 years, but 5, yeah.
Okay, we could change that later. Okay, so whatever. So, and again, probably any price point. Do you want to put a floor or a max on the price point of
Honestly,
value?
we just did a $1 million home and it was really, it was a lot more difficult. So we actually do want to tighten it to probably closer to a price range of 450 to 650,000. The bigger ones just are too much work.
Cool. Not that many there, dude. 513, is that right?
Yeah, you could probably add West Jordan in there and you get quite a bit more.
Got it. What's that zip code?
84088, I want to say. There's a few different ones in that area.
All right, West Jordan, give me another one.
Yeah. See, there's a few different ones, 8881.
All right, that's good. That's 2,000-3,000. All right, so here's the, so we can add more if we wanted to, but you guys get the gist, right? This whole
Mhm.
area.
Yeah.
So when you add that in there, we have 3,700.
Okay.
You guys
Yeah.
need to download that list. You guys need to go on into PropStream, Remine, Property Radar, call the title company. Here's my selects. These are the homeowners I want to go after. I need the name of the person on the deed, the mailing address, the property address, and then you can skip trace is what they call it. You can go to Consumer Bureau data and append possible phone numbers and even possible emails to that list, if that's going to be one of your strategies. Any questions? Stacy, Dallas, get the list. Pretty straightforward, right? All right. Most people don't have these. Julianne, did you have a list like this when we spoke?
I did not. I mean, well, I knew how to do it. I just did not.
You just didn't have it like in a
it
spreadsheet ready to
available.
market to, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
When I do this with people, it really grounds them. It's like, I need listings.
Mhm.
Well, here's the homes.
Yeah.
Here they are. There's a list, right?
So
So-
just, so this service won't append the list. It won't.
It might, it's probably, it might, we'll talk about appending phone numbers and emails later. There's a whole bunch of nuances to that. If that's one of the strategies to reach out, it might give you phone numbers, but you're probably going to run through another service that can probably get you some additional ones. What this will get for probably, I wouldn't pay more than a penny a record for just straight information on the deed or the title of name, property address, mailing address. Once you have the property address, mailing address, and name, you can append contact information from a gazillion different services if you want it. It starts with the target homeowner list to build your database to work for listings. All right. And then this is Remind, by the way, which is inside many people's MLS. If you don't have Remind, you can use PropStream with Property Radar or other ones. Brian, you want to recruit agents? Tell me who your ideal recruit is to build
The
your database and potential to start with where we're going to go after.
Yeah, sure. So an agent that's probably been in the business for at least a couple of years, they've got a few transactions under their belt, but they've struggled to grow their business because there's, I'd say, like a lack of mentorship, a lack of accountability, someone to, be there and teach them how to do it properly.
What county are those real estate agents in?
Salt Lake County.
Okay. So this is a cool vendor that I like. I've had good results with Dr. Bill. So this guy, Dr. Bill, will sell you real estate agent lists. It looks like in Salt Lake County, we have 5,252 real estate agents, most all with an email address and about half those with a cell phone number with the type of license they have, which is nice. So you can just purchase the list of every single licensee in Salt Lake for about $225 right there, Brian. All right.
Okay.
I will tell you though, it's not by production, which is a big skew on the real estate agent list, especially in bigger markets. Are you a broker?
My brother's the
Your brother's the broker.
Yeah.
So since you are a broker, have you ever signed up for a service like Broker Metrics, Trend Graphics, Showing Time Recruit?
We may have done one in the past. I don't remember. I don't think we still have it.
You might be able to ask for some favors, but this is a product by Showing Time. Again, I don't have any affiliate with these companies, but like what they could do is take that list of 5,000 and slice and then dice it by how long they've been licensed and what their production is and yada, 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 to give you a little bit more targeted list if you want one for your recruiting. So why don't you go maybe take a demo with them? That's a good one. I've heard good things too from Broker Metrics. Here's another vendor that can drill down building a recruiting list for you of, instead of just buying every single agent, how can I slice it down by product, whatever. Maybe go request a demo with them. I'm pretty sure you have to be a broker to have access in the MLS. So you'll be able to get it. And if you're not a broker, you need access, maybe go ask your broker if they have it or a friend. Julianne, you have something to say?
Well, yeah, I don't know if every MLS does this or not the MLS, the association that you guys belong to, but mine actually, if you ask for it, and obviously they're going to make you pay for it, they will give you a full list of everybody that's ever been in the MLS and associated with the Realtor Association. So you can do it that way too. That's how I've done it.
Thanks for sharing. All right. So you guys are clear with like just one of the first things I do when someone needs business is I immediately ground them to like, there's the market right there. We got to get in front of those people. We get so confused by like, let's just be online and social media and do all this marketing and advertising. And you're just like floundering all over the place. I do this right away to ground everyone. And hopefully you got that sense by just looking at the list and there they are. All right.
What's kind of the ideal list, Frank? Size of the list?
Doesn't matter. It's going to be different for everybody. I think the answer to that's going to be based upon your goals. Is every market has a total addressable market size. If you have really big goals, you may realize that Salt Lake is too small for agents. You'll find really big agents like running billboards saying, well, you want to come work for my team because they've kind of exhausted all the existing licensees, trying to go outside of these licensees. So that's all depending upon goals. What's your goal? I mean, just a couple agents as far as I know right now. How many would you like to recruit by the end of the year?
We'd like to be at least 20 by the end of the year. We're at 12 right now.
You'll be great, man. You'll be able to find 8 people you can help inside the current licensee list. You're good to go.
Okay.
All right. Yep. Just get the whole thing. All right. So that would just go get your lists. So now that's your haven't mets. Got it? So you start with this list of haven't mets. There they are. Go read the lead generation model in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. There's other ways to get it. There's other haven't met lists, but that's the one that I'm going to recommend to you guys. So now we have to have a strategy to reach out to them, which either cost a lot of money or a lot of time. There's no way around it, and risk. That's the name of the game. To basically get permission to stay in touch, to add them to your database. which is then your METs, which is in your CRM. So you're building your CRM with that people so you can nurture them and when they're ready to sell their house. Fair enough? Real simple, but sometimes it's good to have the simplicity just to ground ourselves with so much confusion going on of how to do basic principles correctly for good marketing. So now we're going to solve this problem of how do we reach out? What's our expenses of reaching out? And how do we go about building each of your databases correctly with the right messaging? And I want to give you a framework that really changed my life when it came to marketing of a mental model. Whenever I have a marketing problem, I think in terms of METs and haven't METs is the first lattice work of theory to hang my ideas on, to organize my thoughts of a marketing problem. Then I go to this option, which is called the marketing triangle. So this is the problem we now have to solve. How are we going to get more listings? How are we, or recruit more agents and bring these people into our database to nurture them so they know us, like us, trust us, and hire us and give us money? So a lot of people mess this triangle up. We have to get all three sides right. If you win all three sides, you win. You make money. You get response. You get leads. You mess up one of these three sides, you don't, and you lose. So let's talk about how most people solve marketing problems the wrong way. They jump right to the bottom. It's the media. The media is just the delivery message, the delivery mechanism for the message. So in this case, this Zoom webinar is the media. I'm the message and you're the market. Got it? But could this be a video? Could this be a long written book? Could it be an in-person seminar? Could I mail it to you in a letter? Could I transcribe the whole thing and email it to you? Yes to all of the above, right? Those are all medias. So there's lots of ways to get the message to the market. We have to pick a media that's the most effective that the market wants. You choose your media by how the market wants to be communicated with. Got it? And then, so usually people, I get media questions. So I use Twitter, should I use direct mail, should I use email, should I use direct mail, should I use Facebook? I don't know. What's the market? And we just did that. So we defined the market first, which is the most important, is the who. Who are we trying to reach? So you guys, you each have your target markets now from what we started with. Okay. So now we have to craft a message. What message do we put in front of them? Whether it's a phone call, email, text, door knock, billboard, radio, TV, Facebook ad, whatever. What's the message that's going to solve their problem and give them a reason to respond and submit their contact information to you, which is called direct response marketing, which is coming up with an offer and a reason for immediate response. Got it? So we're not going to jump to media yet. We're going to go through messages. So I'm going to give you the messages. I know which ones work really well. But before I do, let me think maybe if you can pick one. Stacy and Dallas, you guys have done marketing. What's the message for response? What have you used? This is why I want you to call me.
We've offered them cash in the form of a check, sent that in the mail. That worked pretty good.
Okay. What else? Which is, by the way, I have a cash offer on your home. So the message was, I have an offer for you. I will give you money. Call me and I can give you money and find out how much I can pay you for the house.
Yeah, or we can sell your house for the most money possible, guaranteed.
Yeah, call now to find out what your price would be, which is kind of what like the 72 sold offer is. Cool.
Yeah.
Julianne, Stacey.
We really like clients that had listed their home and it didn't sell. You know, so they're over optimistic on price, but the home's condition doesn't justify the price. And that's where we come in and help them do those strategic updates. Okay,
get a pre-listing renovation consultation. Get a pre-listing renovation consultation. That's the message. That's the offer. That's the reason for response. We have to nail this. This is the direct response mechanism. All right. Julianne, what's worked for you? You're going after sellers. Why are they calling you? What's the reason for response? Have you thought in those terms before?
Well, since working with you on this, I have.
Yeah.
And I apologize. Somebody came home and my dogs are going to start barking here any moment. But the message was, and it's absolutely true, I'm currently working with 60 buyers. That's just me by myself. And they are having trouble finding a home that they either get an accepted offer on or it's gone before they've even walked in the door.
Mm-hmm.
So You want to sell your house? I got a buyer.
So your message is, I have a buyer.
Yeah.
Hey, homeowner, if you're thinking of selling, call me. I have all these buyers that want to buy a home. There's no inventory. And call me. I'll tell you what they can pay you.
Yeah.
Cash offer on your home. Got it.
Correct.
Let me give these to you. These are for your notes. Are you ready? Here's some of the messages that work. Call me or register, put your information in. I can tell you what your home is worth. I will tell you exactly what a buyer will pay for it today. I'll give you a free home value report. Call me, email me, text me, enter your information to find out what your home is worth. That's 1. 2, I'm teaching a home selling workshop. You're probably confused by all the options out there. If you'd like a free ticket to my home selling workshop to learn how to sell your home for more money with less stress, understand all your options so you don't make a bad decision. When was the last time you sold a home? I do it every day. Get a free ticket. Give me your information. You guys got it? See how we're thinking here of a message? Let's keep going. Hey, I have buyers. I'm drowning in buyers. I have all these pre-approved buyers, both maybe institutions or, regular people, right? And if they're willing to buy your home, and if you're thinking of selling, I can get you an off-market offer so you can skip the stress of maybe a traditional sale. May not be the highest one, but it'll be the most convenient. And if you're interested in knowing what that is, call me, email me, text me, respond, put your information in for a free cash offer, no obligation cash offer on your home today. You guys digging? Let's keep going. Hey, is your home possibly maybe a little dated or damaged, not up to date with all these Generation Z and millennial buyer preferences? Lived in your home for quite some time, need to thinking about updating the kitchen, bathrooms, and everything else to what would give you the highest ROI on what you'd spend on construction, remodeling projects for your home price? Well, call me, text me, email me, put your information for a free pre-listing home renovation consultation.
You just hit it. That was awesome.
Well, should be a radio salesman. We're coming out to your home. We'll take a look at it. We have all the contractors. We know who's not going to screw you. They all sign lien releases. We know what to do. We know what the buyers want. We'll come on in there and we'll get the whole thing fixed up and sell it for a whole lot more money. You can sell it now, and we won't embarrass you. The pictures won't be online. Make it really comfortable. Show us what's wrong. We'll get it fixed. Totally confidential, private. Let's fix that home up and sell it for a bunch of money cost today.
That's perfect.
How's that?
Love it.
You talked about it. You talked about it being private. Like, why'd you throw that language in there?
When I was buying investment homes, a lot of people were embarrassed of their home. There was a lot when you're dealing with somebody that's like, so there's one thing being like kind of dated, but sometimes they just don't have the money to fix it up.
Yeah.
And there's a
Everybody's
level of it.
embarrassed.
There's a level of just kind of just general embarrassment or fear, or I don't want my friends in church or my friends knowing that like I live in these conditions.
Yeah.
That's something you learn when you're on the streets doing it. So that's why I threw it in there. And I'm telling you, when you're doing it in real time, those little nuances in the messaging is what gives you the edge.
Mhm.
When you're out there talking to the prospects and the clients, you know what the real needs and the pain points are, so you can craft that in your messaging.
You wrote
All
that
right.
down, right, Stacy?
It's all
Wow.
recorded, and I got you guys. That's why you're
Okay.
paying us. It's already done. All right. I'll give you one more. Free home selling guide. Hey, think of selling your home. I wrote down all the mistakes people make that leave a bunch of money on the table. Doing this for a long time, a lot of transactions. There's a gazillion. I mean, the buyer can sue you. I mean, literally, the buyer can sue you if you mess up on the disclosure form, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. If you're thinking about selling your home, you don't want to make any major mistakes, it'll be costly to you. Download my free report. I'll tell you everything you need to know to get your home ready to sell. Go here and get it. That's a good one too.
Mhm.
Okay. So those are the messages we have to come up with. So for recruiting, for you, Brian, I think probably one of the best messages, there's a couple. The most popular one is come to my training. Hey, get a free ticket to my training, my seller lead generation workshop, my script workshop where I teach you what to say on the phones, my lead follow-up workshop, whatever. Just come to my training. It's a free ticket. I'm going to teach you what you need to know to make money. That's the most popular. Got it? It can also be, hey, download my book of scripts. These are all the magical scripts that I use on the phone, all these situations that has all the current seller objections written out. This is what we're hearing from sellers of why they're not making a decision. They're not hiring me. And this is what we say to overcome that objection. And I written it all out for you. It's what we train our team on. You can download a free book of those scripts. Come get one. That's a second really popular offer. Third popular offer for agent recruiting is a free business planning meeting. Hey, would you like me to sit down with you? Want to go to a drink, go to your favorite restaurant, and just sit down and help you write a business plan to bring some clarity on what you need to do every day to actually make money in this business? I'm happy to do it. And we'll personalize the advice based upon your behavior style and your goals. So you actually do it. And if you're interested in taking that meeting, I'm happy to meet with you. No charge. Are you comfortable putting those messages out to that target list of realtors that you're going to go after?
Yep.
I'll give you the holy grail, Brian. And I want all of you guys to listen to this. The number one best recruiting message that just crushes it is we book your listing appointments. If you can get your marketing and appointment setting systems dialed in, and you just go to the agents and saying, hey, we book your listing appointments. Do you want to meet? Your calendar will be jam-packed. And you see a lot of teams moving in that direction. They'll take the risk on the marketing and the follow-up, set the appointment. The agent maybe you pay the agent 15, 20% of the commission, but they're happy to do that when they're taking 3-4 listings a month because you're booking them for them. You don't have to do any prospecting, follow-up, anything like that. It's a really good offer reason for an agent to respond because it's fastest path to the money, right? Getting listing appointment booked for them. Cool. All right. So now we have our message. Now we got to reach out. So let's go back to that diagram, okay? To build the database. So we're very clear now. Stacy and Dallas, you're going to be able to download a list of your target market and the zip code you want, right? Julianne, you have your list in Gettysburg. Brian, you have your list of recruits. There it is. It's a spreadsheet. Brian, what's the message you're going to double down with? You're going to reach out to all these agents saying, here's why I want you to respond. What's it going to be?
I think that the biggest one right now, I think agents are struggling just with their business right now, with interest rates. And so, gearing towards the scripts and how to get appointments, getting listings.
Okay. So how about this? Why don't you write down all of your objection handlers? And I want you to offer them if you're interested in getting your book of scripts for free.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do. So sit down, meet with your agents, be like, all right, let's crowdsource the magical words, exactly what to say for all the most up-to-date seller questions and objections and concerns. And let's write them down. And ideally, not just write them, say what it is. Let's say maybe have the vendor or the way to solve the problem as well, like a bridge loan or something like that, or a buy before you sell thing, right? Write it up. I need you to put together that little Google sheet, Google Doc, okay? And then you're going to reach out to all of those agents through a media, whatever media you want, we're going to talk about here in a minute. And the message is like, hey, this is Brian, or hey, I work for Brian. I know a lot of agents are struggling, but we have to be doing somewhat okay here. And the big reason for that is we know what to say. And Brian wanted me to reach out, or I wanted to reach out to offer you our complete book of scripts that has all the things that we say to overcome seller concerns. I or Brian wanted me to give it to you for free. Are you interested in a free copy? How's that sound?
It's great.
There you go. And when they say yes, you send it to them. And then after they read it, you follow up for an appointment. That's how that works. It is that simple. Okay, that's how we're going to build the list with the direct response advertising. Stacy and Dallas, you're going to do the free listing renovation consultation?
Yeah.
Is that the direction we're going to go?
Yeah, I think that was brilliant. Just hitting him with the pain around, you need to sell your home quickly and just, and for the highest price possible, but its condition's not great. Well,
okay,
we'll hit him with the free pre-listing renovation consultation. That's great.
Okay.
Frank, what do you think about the messaging that your home might not sell in this market if it doesn't look like the best home they saw today?
I don't know. I got to think about that. That's true. That's kind of more of a guaranteed sale message. So the guaranteed, what you're doing is you're selling certainty. Let me think that through. I'm on a different brain wavelength. Yes, but let's put that aside, Dallas.
Okay.
Pre-listing renovation. How about we'll beautifully remodel your home so it's ready to sell fast for top dollar? Is that what you do?
Yep.
And you'll manage the local South Jordan contractors. And do you even put up the money?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Ooh, request a free pre-listing renovation estimate. Got it.
Yep.
So today I'm excited to offer you a free pre-listing remodeling consultation on the phone if you're thinking of selling your home in the next few months. The easiest way to add more to your sales price is to update your kitchen, bathrooms, curb appeal. A remodeling investment of 10,000 can add 30,000, 90,000. Makes your home more appealing. Just send me some photos of your home. I'll get bids. I know exactly what buyers are looking for on countertops and flooring, and we'll even lend you and provide all the money for all the repairs up front to be repaid at closing, and manage all the remodeling work to get it ready for the most profitable sales price. Let me know if you're thinking of selling anytime this year. By the way, I hope you guys are charging a sizable commission on doing this. Okay. For everything here. Are you guys cool with that's the message you want to put out?
Yes, that
Yeah.
is.
All right, cool. And then I also had the landing page here. No, not anymore, but there is a form. So that's the message that's the message that we're going to go to your market with. And Brian, we've come up with your message for immediate response that we're going to go to your market with. Okay. Now, Julianne, to build your database of sellers, we actually already did this. You came to me a
Yes.
couple of weeks ago, saying I need some listings. I've kind of maxed out my database with you, Frank, and my viral marketing plan. We're already hitting them enough. I got to build it. I'm like, Julianne, that's not really what we do, but I can guide you. And then you said, Frank, what do you think is the best way to build a database? In my opinion, with my risk tolerance and what I like to do is direct mail, a personal letter. And I said, let's just mail every single homeowner in Gettysburg that you have a buyer for their house and to call you to find out what they would pay. And that's what we did, right?
Yeah, because we had 59 listings in the entire.
So why
area.
don't you just kind of share the story of, how we went about doing that and the results to build your database of sellers?
Like start to finish kind of thing?
5 minutes.
Okay. We mailed out 4,100 letters roughly. I had almost within the first 24 to 48 hours, 287 calls, which is about a 3% response rate. I ended up meeting with 10 sellers, made appointments, working with them. Out of those, I have 2 off-market listings, something I'd heard about it, but I'd never really done it before. And I actually have buyers for those 2 listings. And those will be coming under contract here as soon as I can get the buyers in.
Good. And
I
how many nurtures do you have?
I have 8 future listings coming up, and for various reasons, there's no place for some of them to go. So I have to call some more people on my list here because I have not called all 287 of them. And I have 2 new listings that will be coming up in the next week. Just have to get the house staged and all that kind of stuff. So most of the 270 or 87 callers were nice, very curious. The ones that weren't interested in selling said that they would like to keep my contact information because they would sell possibly next year. So I think it's been a huge success for me because, like I said, I haven't even made contact with all of the people that have called. Some have emailed me. I actually had to change my message, which Frank was gracious enough to do. And because my phone was literally ringing all the time. I even had calls.
Well, because we did it right. We did the marketing correctly. We
Yes.
pulled a list of all the homeowners that we just did in Remind with the first name, last name, property address, mailing address. Okay. And then we wrote a simple 1-page letter, and it's called the golden letter in the industry. So you just go to Google and type in golden letter real estate and click Google images and you'll see a whole bunch and they're all the same. The key is at least look really personal, just real personal letter. Hey, I'm Julianne. I've been here for 20 years. Thinking of selling. I got all these buyers, yada, yada, yada. You can Google me. I'm legit. Give me a call at this number and I'll tell you what the buyers will pay you. And, I might be able to do the whole thing off market and skip a lot of the stress of a traditional sale. Let me know if you want to sell, give me a call. That's the gist of the letter, right?
Sorry about that. My dogs are going
Yeah.
crazy.
Now, here's the deal. I told you it's very simple, but this is one of the more expensive routes. You want to
Yes,
go
it is.
spend. I mean, how much was it? How much did you drop on your credit card?
A little over 4,000, I think.
Yeah. So I asked you, are you comfortable risking $4,000 Because it may not
Yes.
work. May get no calls. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna take some risk, right? And he said,
Yeah.
Frank, I trust you. We'll roll the dice on the golden
You
letter.
also told me I needed to get a minimum of 3 listings to make it pay for itself. And I was like, okay, well, that's not bad. I'm gonna end up with probably 12 to 15, I think, by the end of the month.
So I want to talk about this really quickly. I never want to hear from any of you. This is not what you said, Julianne, by the way, but I never want to hear from a client. Well, I just didn't get one deal to pay for it. That means that means you made no money. Like you took
Yeah.
all this risk and then you made no money.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I
I
would
did expect the worst. I was not really, you told me, don't expect anything. And if you get it, great.
Yeah,
But
plan
it's a
for the worst,
gamble.
hope for the best.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I said, Julianne, it's a healthy, when you're looking at someone's P&L, a healthy marketing budget, like how much are you willing to spend to get the business? I would say a risk-free amount where you pay at closing, where like there was no upfront capital risk. The closing was handed to you, the lead was handed to you, pay at close. It probably trades at about 35% referral fee. You'll spend 35% of the commission for a risk-free deal on marketing spend, maybe as high as 50%. You might have to fork over 50% of the commission if someone handed you a lead risk-free without risking your own capital at closing. So those trade a little higher percentages of marketing. I
Right.
would say if you're taking the dollar risk, if you're the one spending the money and you're generating your own branded lead, it should be between 10 to 20%, which is another way of looking at that is between a 1 to 5 time ROI on revenue, on gross commission. So what was your typical, ballpark commission on a deal in Gettysburg as a listing agent? Not that there is a
Percentage-wise,
common one, but just generally speaking, what could you reasonably expect?
we average it at 2.78.
Total amount, what is it? 8 grand, 6 grand,
Probably between 8 and 9.
8, 9 grand. Call it. So it's called $8,000. So you can spend anywhere between $800 to $1,600 to get a listing, and you'd be happy with that all day long. And you would take that trade all day. Are we clear on that?
I'm very
So
clear on
you
that.
put
Yes.
up $4,000 to make the number easy. And the most you'd be happy to spend is $1,600. So 4,000 divided by 1,600 is basically 3. So if you got 3 listings out of it in the next, say, couple weeks or 2 months, you'd be really happy with that return on your investment, right?
Correct.
Good. That's called understanding your customer acquisition cost. And it's the most important economic number you have to be comfortable with when you start building your database. So you have the message media market. You also need to know how much are you willing to spend to get a customer. Do you guys have any questions of how I work through how to get comfortable spending money on lead generation and how we approach that? Any comments or concerns on that? It's harder when you're recruiting an agent of like how much are you willing to spend to get an agent recruit. That's really, really far out of the return on that. You know what I'm saying? All right. Okay, so now let's talk about medias. Stacey, Dallas, you have your message. Brian, you have your message. Julianne, your message is great. I have a buyer for your home, call me. And your media you chose was direct mail. And I think you're just going to keep doing that, right? Great. So you have a plan to build your database of sellers. Your objective on our meeting today is done. You have your list, you have your message, and your media is going to be direct mail. And you're comfortable taking the risk of mailing basically all the homeowners in Gettysburg that fit the criteria we pulled probably every month or two, saying, I have even more buyers now. Call me. How does that
That's
sound?
correct. It's exactly what I want to do. My team actually spends a lot more for Zillow leads than the investment for these letters. And I don't know if anybody else on the team or on the panel here purchases buyer leads, but I have so many buyers I don't need anymore. I need houses
listings.
for them to sell.
Yeah.
And I'm running around like crazy trying to show buyers houses. I'm actually putting keys in doors and I get a text saying the property went under contract. You couldn't have called me.
So we're good.
Done with
Good
that
job.
right now. And I'm tickled pink with the results of
Good
these
job on your
mailings.
first
And it's
interview
just
on doing a webinar like this. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good. So look, the goal of today's meeting, Julianne, do you have a clear strategy following the models and systems we talked about in the messaging and we tested it to build your database of homeowners? Say yes. Good?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
Stacey Dallas, what is your media? We can cold call them legally. We can cold text them legally. There are ways to cold email them legally. We can run Facebook ads to them with custom audiences. We can post YouTube videos and hopefully they magically find us. Okay. We can run radio ads and television ads and reach a whole bunch of other people that aren't in the target market, but hopefully they hear and they respond. Got it? We can go door knock them. We can go leave a flyer on their door. We can maybe go partner with the HOA and maybe get an ad in the HOA. Maybe we can run buyer ads saying search for homes for a trade up property. Maybe there's a seller hiding in the buyer leads. Or we can send them all a letter. Those are pretty much all your options, right? Are there any options I'm leaving out for various medias of how we're going to get the message to the market? Is there any other ones you guys can think of?
Morse code.
Morse code. I love it. What about a carrier pigeon?
Now we're talking. That's not expensive.
But do you guys see how the thinking process we're using here? We have the market, we have the message. Pick one, Dallas, Stacey, what's the media you're going to use to put that message in the hands of those specific homeowners or get them to expose the message? So they go, oh, that solves my problem. I'm going to
pick
respond. Pick one. I want you to double down with one, at least in this course. You can use all of them. Don't get me wrong. You can use all multimedia. You can have a multimedia approach.
Well, I think direct mail is, in my opinion, the best way to go.
We've used it before very successfully. That check Dallas talked about, we probably sent out, how many do you think we sent out of that check?
I don't know. I can't remember. I think it was,
3,900.
yeah.
And
So you mailed out 3,900 cash offer on your home. Call me.
And it cost about $6,000. And we did 2 deals from it that brought in $100,000.
Because you were on the flipping side,
We were on the wholesale side.
wholesale side. Got it.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
took
I'll
it.
do that.
We made $100,000 on $6,000 of spend.
Would
Yeah,
it be rational to keep doing that?
Wholesaling kind of blows. I don't
Maybe
know.
not wholesaling, but maybe mail.
yeah.
Right.
Now we're gonna just, instead of wholesale them, flip them to a listing, but we can still wholesale them. There's options. We offer options. It's kind of where we're at now.
So here's your assignment. Now, just so you guys all know, Vyral Marketing doesn't do any of this. I just helped Julian out as a favor. I happen to know how to send a letter. But Vyral doesn't build your database. You have to go out and do that. You have to go out and take the risk and spend the money and pound the phones and knock on the doors and invest capital, whether it's time or resources or money, to go find somebody who responds to the message, to build a list, right? Vyral comes in once you have it, to nurture it and stay in touch with it. But Stacey and Dallas, I want you to go log into Remine. I think you guys have it in your MLS. Go type in your zip codes. All right. Go type in lived in for 5+ years. Type in the price range of the houses that we did. And then if you want, in my opinion, just in my own personal anecdotal experience, remove the LLCs. Just only if it's a real human, natural person on the deed. Don't mail to a trust or an LLC. Take those out. I like talking to those people more differently. They deserve a different message. Those are like legitimate, like landlords that are incorporated. You'll still get the mom and pops where it's their name on the deed, which is fine. And I don't know, you're going to come back with a list size. And here's my recommendation to you, besides, doing a financial audit of your balance sheet and income statements and how much money you have, but mail them all. Fair enough. Just mail them all. So you have statistical probability in your favor. And we talked about that, Julianne, right? You have to reach a lot of people, a lot of homeowners, to find somebody who wants to sell soon that doesn't have an existing relationship with an agent. Are we clear? So to put those odds in your favor of getting the blackjack, you're gonna have to play a lot of hands. Any questions?
Would you suggest, how Julian's got 250 phone calls coming in? It sounds like she's handling them all on her own. Does the results, significantly get better if you hired a VA? Do you help with that, or?
I don't. Vyral doesn't. Julianne would probably love to have someone that could sit there all day long and answer the phone because it was pretty overwhelming.
Yeah.
One of the things I did with Julianne's mailing, I think she mailed 5,000. What you do to get discounts to mail house is you'll place the order for a couple thousand, and they can, mail like, say 1,000 week 1, 1,000 week 2, 1,000 week 3, 1,000. So you kind of tranche them out, space it out.
Yeah.
Right.
I spaced it out between 2 mailings, probably knowing the level of responsiveness to that message in that market. We probably would have spaced it out more, would we, Julian? Because you got pretty overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
It's nice to have
and
someone to answer the phone and follow up.
It wasn't fun. The last 3 weeks have not been enjoyable. Let me say, I've pretty much broken my little earbuds. The battery just didn't work anymore. I've
Yeah.
been on
So
'em
yeah,
so
you could
much. I had to
totally
buy
have
new
someone
ones.
answer the phone, right, to do it,
Yeah.
because then they could be focused on the lead follow-up, doing a seller
But they
consultation.
don't, they want to speak to me. That's the other thing. I'm the one that sent the letter. I'm the one that said in the letter, go Google me. Well, if you Google me, you know who I am. And they go, oh yeah, I want to talk to her. And that's I could have my husband call, but they don't want to talk to him.
Yeah,
If
I
you did-
experienced that a little bit. We put
if you-
Stacy on there.
Center.
If you did want to handle that, let me just say how you can overcome that. Is saying, hey, I'm answering Julianne's phone. She's out. She's making an offer on a property. Look, let me just get some basic information. I'm going to have her call you right back. Or you call back, she'll be available. At least she'll be informed. That's
Right.
it. I'm answering her phone. She's out. All right. So you guys are good. You've decided on the market. You decided on the message. And you decided on mail. Great. That's the plan to build a list. You guys good? Short of a whole other half-day training on how to execute that, which Vyral does not do. But that's going to be the strategy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Brian, let's talk about you. We have the market. You're going to go pull realtors of how long they've hold their license and what their production is, whatever you're happy with there. And you're probably going to have their name and address and phone number and email. And you want to reach out to them as a peer saying, hey, you're probably, tactfully saying you're not doing as well maybe as I am, and I want to help you out. And one of the biggest things I can do to help you out is offer my free book of scripts. And I'd like you to call me or email me or respond or let me know if you want it. I'll send it to you. Are you interested? That's your message, right? To kind of get them into your funnel and say that small yes to lead them to a big yes. What's going to be your media? How are you going to reach out to these agents? How are you going to deliver that message to an agent? What do you think is going to be the most effective? What's the way you think they're going to want to receive that from you?
I think phone call or text, but depending on the size of that list, I'd need help. I can't do all that. And then email is probably the least effective.
Okay. So let's call it prospecting with a legitimate attempt. So we're going to do prospecting. We're going to call them, leave a message, text them, and email them. How's that?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you going to do it? Who's going to do it?
No, I'm not going to do
Who's going to do it?
it. Maybe some of it. Yeah, that's a good question, Frank. Casey. And then we're training some staff to do more of this for us.
Great. Let me give you a little bit of guidance on to help them out, right? Let me give you a couple little tips.
Okay.
You're going to get a separate CRM. I don't care which one. I personally like Zoho. That's my own choice. Got it? You're going to take all those agents and you're going to load them into Zoho as leads. All right. You're then going to sign up for a second domain. What's your current domain that you have? Like if I were to email you, what is it? Colmere
Realty, Brian at colmererealty.com.
Good. Go by colmererealty.net. Do you own that?
Yeah, we own it.
Great. Go set up a separate Google Workplace on that domain because realtors like to click report spam and ruin your main domain when you email them.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yep.
All right. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to sign up for Zoom phone. It's $15 a month. That's going to give someone a phone license. It's about $15 and you're going to get a local number. Okay.
You just do like an add-on with your current Zoom account, I guess.
Yeah, perfect. Yep, great. Yep, just get a phone number. Please test it and make sure it doesn't show up robocall or spam. Very
Okay.
important. All right. Then they're going to take that list and you're going to write out kind of a text. Make sure at the end of the text, it says reply stop, and I will not text you anymore at the end of the text. Very important. So whatever the text is, at the end, it needs to say reply stop and I won't text you anymore. And at the bottom of the email, it needs to say, please reply stop and I won't email you anymore. Make sure you have those two disclosures in the text and the email. Got it? Their goal is 50 attempts a day. They're going to reach out to 50 realtors a day. That's the magical number.
Okay.
I've done this for 10 years. All right. It can go a little higher, but let's just call it 50 to start. Do not go over 75. You're going to burn your number out. That's going to get flagged. 75 is the max. Okay. But 50 is about right. At least 50. 50 is the minimum, I'd say. If
Okay.
they're hitting 50, it's a good day, but no less than that in a full-time shift. I call a full-time shift 7 hours because they're having another hour of daily meetings, questions, whatnot. Okay. They're going to sit down. They're going to open up every single realtor and they're going to call them. Hey, Brian asked me to call you. Is there a landmark, a big landmark where you work by that people in Salt Lake would know? By the Costco, like, I don't know what. Is there something that people in Salt Lake would know that you,
Yeah.
where's your office by?
We're in Sandy.
We're in Sandy over by the,
Yeah. By the mall.
got it.
I'll think it's,
Perfect.
yeah.
I work for Brian Colmier. We're over in Sandy by the mall,
Or by the Expo Center or the
by
soccer.
the Expo Center. Got it. All right. You want me to call you? Because we know a lot of, the market's a little bit difficult and we've written down all of our objections of exactly what to say to get the appointments and to overcome concerns of selling. And I just want permission if it's okay if I could send it to you for free. Like, it's just something that can help you out. Brian wanted me to reach out to you because we'll probably do a transaction someday. You'll probably be on the other side of a deal and we want to reduce the friction and know that we're good peoples. How's that? Is it
Yeah.
okay? Can I have your permission to send it to you? Call me back, email me back, text me back. So every time they reach out to the realtor, they're going to make a phone call with a voicemail with that message. They're going to send an email with that message. Say, just reply back and I'll send it to you. Or just, they'll text it and you got to kind of massage the text so it fits the 150 characters and adjust it for each media. And they can text back if they want it. Then they take it. Great. You've now whittled the list down. Of 50 cold realtor attempts, you'll probably only get 5 to 10 people responding. Of the 5 to 10 people that respond, that actually don't ghost you, you'll get a couple people that say yes. Those are the yeses that you want to convert in Zoho CRM from a lead to a contact. That's how the CRM works. And then you follow up with those nurtures, those contacts, to book an appointment or a recruiting appointment. Or you can invite them to an event with a free ticket. You can go either way. That's how you're going to build your database of luring agents into your world. How's that?
It's good.
All right. That was the hour meeting today. So you guys are Vyral customers. The very first question is how do we build our database of the right people? Did I answer it? Do you guys have any questions? Sounds too easy, huh? All right, cool.
I wouldn't say it's easy, but it works.
It does, yeah. And you can
Frank,
apply this framework to any business, which we went over today.
Is there a mailing service that you'd
Yes.
recommend or
So if you're going to do direct mail, I'm a big fan of the letter. It's used to be letterprinting.net. I buy all of my mail through itidirectmail.net. So ITI direct mail is like the bomb.com. They have an option here for a one-page letter. And the key with their letters is they're very personal. See that? So you can kind of like customize the letter how you want it to look. So this would be how you would put the media together for it. And there's other services too that will give you more guidance out there, but they're just a raw mail house. They're not going to give you any advice or guidance. You have to know what you're doing. But there's other direct mail services out for more consultation. Will guide you on getting the message out to get the results. Questions?
When it comes to mailing, the ITI direct, they're not in Utah, I'm sure. Is it?
Yeah, they're out of Pasadena, but it's not gonna make a difference.
Okay.
No difference. Yeah, you want to mail first class pre-sort. So you want to put a real stamp on the envelope. Do not put your logo on the envelope. You want just your regular name and the return address, no suite number, so it looks like it's a house. Ideally, don't put the company or logo. Don't mess up the envelope. Number 10 envelope, just your name and address. Real
No
stamp.
PO box.
No, God, no. Real address. Use a vacant rental property if you have to. All right. That's what I did. I would use all my flips. The return address was the flips. Right. So use a real personal return address with a real stamp. You can use pre-canceled pre-sort stamps for a discount. All right. Now, when those go through the mail system, they won't put the squiggly lines on them, but letterprinting.net will actually print false squiggly cancellation lines on the stamp, which they have permission from the post office to do, which is awesome to add more to the authenticity of the envelope. And then you just want their first name, last name, street address, city, state, zip. It should be totally unbranded from one human being to one human being that has no mention of a business. If you put any mention of a business envelope, it will literally go in the trash. So that's what's going to get them to open it. Go with bigger size fonts, 14 or highest fire fonts, Times New Roman is easier to read. And then you just write a personal letter with exactly what we said there. And I recommend when you put your phone number in the letter for response, use a trackable number. We use CallRail. I used CallRail. Julian, that was probably pretty helpful having CallRail back you up on those calls, right?
Yes, it was.
Can you speak to that a
And
little bit of how we use a trackable number and how it notified you of the inbounds?
Well, I would see I'd be on the phone talking to somebody and I'd get 3 or 4 calls and then go, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to answer those. And very quickly realizing they didn't leave a message on my phone. And then I remembered Frank saying that everything was recorded on CallRail, so I could go in, see the phone number that had just called and listen to the recording, and it was great. I was able to call everybody back and know who they were at that point.
David, what's up, man? Real quick, I do want to answer this question. Let's say some of you guys picked cold calling, cold texting, cold emailing the list, which has a whole bunch of legal stuff we got to talk about doing that legally. All right. But that aside, how do you get the phone numbers? There's 2 sources. There's Fair Credit Reporting regulated and non-regulated. Let's talk about FCRA. That's LexisNexis Accurate. That's TLOXP. So TLO, the last one, TLOXP, LexisNexis Accurate. And then Microbilt has a product called Enhanced People Search. You're literally running people's credit to get their phone numbers and emails. The data is top notch. You can only do that if you have permissible use. So if you're reaching out to somebody as a realtor to sell them services, it is illegal to pull from those databases. Don't do it. If you're reaching out as an investor to verify that they are the owner of the property before you give them money because you're the buyer, not the seller, then it is arguably legal. Are we clear? I am not an attorney, but you're playing with fair credit reporting rules with that data. And you can go sign up with those services, or you can hire someone who has access to those services to use it for you. Then you have the less regulated databases to append phone numbers. There's a whole bunch out there. Just type Google skip tracing. They're all equally terrible. All right. All of them. There's many out there. Probably the one that I like to use, it's really simple, is Batch Skip Trace. I'll give a shout out to those guys. Batch Skip Trace is one. They'll charge 15 cents for appending all the information. Another one that I've used before that's pretty cheap is DataZap. They'll append emails and phone numbers if you're going to do cold reach outs to append information that way. Challenge is much of it's bad. It's not that great. And as the years go on, I think, and people move and people change numbers and whatnot, and there's different rules with phone number regulation, I think it just kind of gets worse and worse. That's why I keep gravitating more toward direct mail, because you don't have any legal issues you generally have to worry about. And it's darn near a 100% open rate, because that's where the tax statement goes, right? And you don't have to worry about appending bad information. How's that, David? All good? All right, you have your assignments. Go put together your campaign to build your database of seller leads. And then I think next week we're going to talk about, what's next week? Getvyral.com/class. Julianne, big takeaway from today. What is it?
step out of your comfort zone. Do it. Probably plan a little bit better than I did, because I was inundated and I nearly went underwater. But this
That's good.
works.
You got a good response. You lucked out.
This is, yeah, I'm tickled pink.
Dallas, Stacy, takeaway from today.
Everyone always wants to start at the end as far as what medium am I going to use and how am I going to do it? But it's really important to get your messaging right first before you blast it out there.
Get the market right first, then the message,
Market.
then the media. Market, then message, then media. What about
I
you,
was
Dallas?
surprised how simple it is to get the market. Like
To pull the
Sure.
list.
totally
Yeah.
30 seconds. Pretty stupid.
Yeah, don't tell any of your competitors this. It's really an advantage knowing that. Seriously. Brian, takeaway from the day. We'll be all done.
Just the minimum number of attempts or calls
50.
with the agents. Yep.
That's a good
Making
number.
sure we're hitting that standard.
All right, guys, go put that in place. Next week, we're going to talk about actually getting those responses. When people respond to this outreach, getting those people into the CRM so we can properly market to them, getting them into the email marketing program, getting them into a Facebook retargeting audience. So we can stay in touch with all the responses so that we just like swarm them on the conversion on the funnel. That's next week. All right, guys.
Yeah, Frank, you had some messaging really quick. Sorry. You had some messaging around our specific message. Are you going to provide that to us?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'll email it to you. That little thing I shared with the pre-listing renovation consultation, I'll email it to you here after the webinar.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll
Thank
see
you,
guys next week.
Frank.
Great.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.